Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday morning. Or it's cold and gloomy, or raining and just wet as wet can be, or whether it's 109 degrees like most places are nowadays. Good morning. We got all kinds of different stuff we're going to talk about today. I almost said tonight because I got the podcast from last night coming on tonight. But yeah, it's been a screwy couple days for me, guys. So, and I know the same's happened to Eric. So I think the powers that be, whatever ancient evil has been released in this world, are really trying our patience. So I'm about ready to put the old war bonnet back on and the war paint and go to kick some supernatural ass. So that being said, let's get into the disclaimer here. Copyright disclaimer is this channel may use some copyrighted material without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it falls under the Fair Use Act. Now, the Fair Use Act is the Copyright Act of 1976, which is kind of surprising because they haven't revised it since then. Nighthawk High Strange's podcast channel and all the podcasts on the channel declare fair use of any and all content, including the music and our likenesses. So they can't make like a Bobby or a Hank Hill cartoon lookalikes for us. For the sole purpose of informing you, the viewing family, of information for criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, and general knowledge only. Let's not forget the entertainment value. Title 17, Section 102 of the Copyright Act of 1976, otherwise known as the Fair Use Act. Okay, now that I got that mouthful done, let me pull that off of there. And we're going to get into say good morning to everybody. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, my brother.
Who else we got in the house here, bro?
Oh, we got a lot, man. We got Don, David, Penny, Ozzy, Gemini, Juno, Ida. Good morning, Ida. David. We got a list.
Yeah, we got Kyle in the house, Don, Penny, David, and Melissa's probably listening. Don, Ida, Ozzy Sue. Good to see you, Ozzy Sue. Haven't seen you in a while. Let's put that up there.
It's always good when she comes on.
Yep, I always enjoy it. We got to do what we have to do, and I'm going to work with Ozzy on this. I had originally, we lost a dear moderator, a brother of mine from Australia.
God, yeah.
I was originally trying to set up a everything cryptid and paranormal show of Australia, and since he's since passed, unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to do that because I think that would make a really good program. So maybe Ozzy Sue could help us out with that. Bring her on sometime. We'll make you famous, kiddo.
I was all set up to go with him to do some investigations over there too. I was saving up money to go over there and do investigations with him before that happened too. I was like, damn it. Such a sad deal.
Yeah. There's not a good morning, Judy. Good morning, Judy. There's not a Lady Raven. Good to see you. It's been a while. It's I don't like to talk about the brothers and sisters that have passed before me, but and I really don't mention their names, and some of you in the chat will probably know who I'm talking about. Yes, Ozzy Sue, you know. He was a good man. He was a gentle giant of a man. And I miss him dearly. There's not a day go by that I don't think about Tombstone. There really isn't. There's not a day go by that I don't think about him. And every time I open up the chat to the podcast, I always expect to see Tombstone there, because that's the way he was. He was always there for a brother, and it breaks my heart to know that he's not around. someone to talk to, and to someone that's always willing to lend that attentive ear, no matter whether they have problems themselves or not. Yeah, he's sorely missed. He really is, and you know, I that's why I thank everybody in the chat, because when it comes down to it with these podcasts, it's not the amount of recognition that people get that do these podcasts. It's not, the sure as hell isn't the money, because I'm further in debt because of it. But it's the camaraderie, it's the social end of it, of knowing that you have an extended family, you know. And Tombstone was the original OG of the family. Tombstone and Ozzie Sue, and David and Melissa, and Penny, you know, they, everybody in the chat is that extended family. And if I lost anybody in the chat, it would break my heart. Okay. And I just, I want to put the good vibes out there to Tombstone, because I know he's probably listening, and he can see the way things are going from where he's at. I guarantee it. He can. Good morning, Larry.
Yeah, we were just sending funny gifts back and forth to each other before all that happened too. I kind of miss having my funny gifts. Little things you send you on Messenger. I think they're called gifts.
Yeah,
man, I miss that.
Yeah. I don't know why. It just struck me all of a sudden to say something about him, and his remarkable beliefs in extended family and just taking care of one another. That's me. That was an amazing man, and he's sorely missed. Let's see. I want to answer Larry here. William, have you heard of the Mandan Indian legend, Minnewestu, Missouri River monster? No, I can't say I have. I have heard of the red-haired legend, of the Mandan, which is supposed to be a giant of a being, um, that was basically so poor and didn't have any affiliation with any nation, that it ran around without buckskin on, and apparently it was very, very tall. Like we're talking 15 to 16 feet tall. So no, I can't say that I have. But if it's anything like the red-haired ones that all the nations have, then yeah, they're all pretty much the same, except some are more brutal than others, when it comes to being aggressive. Um, I've had the good fortune of experiencing several times dealing with these beings, in the forest and in the mountains, that the ones that I've dealt with have been more on a friendly nature than a malevolent or an aggressive nature. Now, that's not to say I haven't had an aggressive situation at one time, but it was my own stupidity that made it come about. Okay, so my being young and dumb, I didn't know. I knew about them, but I was riding dirt bikes, motorcycles, motocross bikes, and I was doing about 35 miles an hour through this dirt path in the woods, in the timberline, and the branch came out from behind a big tree and hit the front tire of the motorcycle, and I flipped over. Bike landed on my left leg. I still got the scorch mark from the exhaust, and I looked up, and there he was standing there, definitely a male, and he was every bit of 9 feet tall, and I wouldn't even want to guess how much he weighed. He probably weighed a good 800, 900 pounds, maybe more. Um, it was just massive. I mean, the only way I could actually think of describing it was picture one of those little like Hulk figures, that kids play with, that are all muscled up, and put fur on it. That's pretty much what I saw. I mean, it was just, flat nose, square teeth, except for the two canines. The canines were bigger than ours. Definitely draw blood if they bit you. Um, but yeah, that was the only time I actually got kind of scared or intimidated by him. But then again, I looked around at my surroundings and the environment that I was in, because there was no birds chirping or anything. And, with the motorcycle, turning off after dumping it, I looked around and I saw that there was this deer that was nestled down, a big doe, probably about 200-pound doe. And it was down in the high grass, nestled down in there between the Sasquatch, the Bigfoot that was here, and over here just past the doe that was kneeling down in the high grass, up in a tree, was a smaller version of the big one. Apparently, I interrupted their hunting. And that's the only time I actually had an aggressive encounter with Bigfoot. All the other times, I mean, I've been given feathers, hawk feathers, owl feathers, eagle feathers. I've been gifted more feathers than anything. The one gift that I remember, I had just got done doing Humblatia, and I think I just turned like 18, and I remember my native buddy of mine that was helping me through my Humblatia, my vision quest. I remember him taking me down to a creek, and he said, "Now that you're done with your vision quest, why don't you, see what kind of gifts, Makal Wakan, Sacred Mother Earth, can give you, and the Great Spirit." And I started just wading through the water, and I stopped at about 2 feet into the water, and something told me to look down at my feet and then look to my right, where the tree line was to the thick forest. And as I looked down at my feet, there in the stream, in the river, was a arrowhead. Actually, it was more like a fish spearing head that was made of black obsidian, like it was placed there just for me. And I still have that to this day, in my medicine bundle. And it was every bit of about 2.5 inches long, and it was perfectly chiseled, like the perfect spearhead to go spearfishing with. Which, and then I did what I was told to do. I looked off to my right in the tree line, and there was that big dark silhouette standing there with a big old grin on his face. I could see the squareness of the teeth again, and he had that smile on his face, like, "Yeah, you did good," And it just turned and walked away. So it was an incredible encounter that time, when I was 18. It was absolutely incredible. And after that, I soon went into the military, so and that screwed everything. But anyways, that's another story. Yeah, I just, I haven't heard of it, but maybe someday we can get Don to come on, and he can talk about that with us. Oh, Ryan, you're in the house. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Glades, good to see you. Let's try to cover everybody here in the chat.
Yeah, I'm trying to get caught up myself.
Roxanne. Yeah, boy, we got a house full. All right, I love it.
Yeah, I was talking to Kyle about the difference between Nephilim and other giants.
Anyways.
Yeah, I was getting caught up too. Yeah, yeah, Kyle. A lot of people mistaken the Nephilim as being all part. Hey, BBD Warrior. Yeah, a lot of people mistaken the Nephilim as all being giants. There's actually different kinds of giants all over. The Nephilim was just one kind. They're from the fallen angels, also known as the Watchers. There is also, me and William has started putting dots together, connected them to Lilith as well, because even when Lilith was talking to the seven-headed dragon, she has to bring back the Nephilim of old. So there was actually Nephilim prior to the flood, and then there was Nephilim after the flood as well. But there was other kind of giants too. I mean, there was giants that were known as cloud eaters. They were miles tall. That went so high, they were so tall that their heads were in the clouds. Cherokee have a giant, that a mountain guardian that will run you out of his territory if you go in there and hunt without his permission. And they even got a rock down there, and I think is Georgia, where they got that rock where the handprint of that giant is sitting in that rock. There's stories throughout legends, throughout history, of all different types of giants, but there's a big misunderstanding that Nephilim are all giants. They're not. Nephilim is a type of giant. The Cyclops. Cyclops is another giant. Have a Cyclops to have eye, single horn above the. Yeah, Larry. Cyclops are known to have that description as well. They're also known. There is some descriptions on Cyclops saying that they have three eyes. You'll see sculptures in Greece of some types of Cyclops that's got three eyes. So that's another thing too. But yes, there is known Cyclops known to have a single eye and a single horn. You're absolutely right. In fact, one of the most famous stories on that was I can't remember the Cyclops' name, but it was in the Odyssey story.
Yeah, the giant thing is a fascinating thing. Then we're still following it too. We're still continuing our research on it and all that.
Oh yeah.
We have come to the conclusion that, and I'm sure Eric will tell you this too, everybody. Everything that is happening, especially today more than in our past, is happening because of an ancient evil. Okay, and what I mean by that, you consider all the paranormal stuff, all the the stuff with the cryptid creatures being seen, and the missing people. You know, there's so much weird stuff going on that there's no way to really label it all separately, because truly it's all paranormal, supernatural type of stuff. And yes, something can be supernatural, but it can also be flesh and blood. Okay. And I don't know how many times I've said this too when I do lectures and stuff and guest speaking. You can have a cryptid creature that is standing in front of you, and if you shoot it, it'll bleed. But how many times has anybody experienced it or heard stories of experiencing it, and somebody has shot it 2-3 times with at least a 30-30 or a 12 gauge or something, and nothing happened?
Yep.
Okay, and they can hear the rounds hitting them. Okay, but nothing happened. This is one thing to prove that just because something is flesh and blood doesn't mean it can't be supernatural at the same time. Because then you're telling me that we, as flesh and blood, if we are demonically possessed, we're no longer flesh and blood. That doesn't set right with me. That's not true. Okay, we are still flesh and blood, but having that malevolent energy within us, and that possession, makes us less susceptible to being harmed, except on a supernatural level. Okay, so that's what I've experienced over the years. Yeah, there's so much to be said about what's going on today, Eric. I don't know. Ancient evil. I was thinking, this whole past week, I've been feeling kind of, sluggish and just tired and exhausted, and I didn't even really do hardly anything. But one thing kept on coming to mind the whole time I was feeling that way is that the small phrase of ancient evil, fallen angels, maybe, um, Leviathan, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to cope with that sense of being overwhelmed, concerned about something very, very significant is going to happen. And I'm not talking about the wars and rumors of wars. You know, we know how that goes. And we know our government, we can depend on our government and the military echelons, the high up ones, to not tell the truth to their people. And I truly believe that even certain leaders of other countries are starting to realize that, because even China recently made the announcement they didn't want to take any part in consuming or buying American food products, including beef, chickens, and all that, because apparently they're smart enough to figure out that the American government and military has put excess chemicals and stuff into the food items and selling it to their own people. Okay. So China said no, they're not going to do that to their people. So, you know, does that make China a good person? Hell no. Okay. It does not. But it makes them at least a little less than what our own government is. The USDA doesn't even have a standard for the quality of meat that McDonald's uses for their burgers. It's like a grade 20. So I mean, you know, we keep getting this junk fed to us and these chemicals fed.
Go ahead, sorry, brother.
Yeah, we keep on doing this, and now we keep on consuming this, and you know, it just makes us dumbified, you know. And I think that they figured out that these certain chemicals they're putting in this food shortens our lifespan and also keeps us dumbified. So it's a win-win for our government. You know, it really is. So that in itself, I mean, there's so much weird crap going on. It's incredible. It really is. I don't know how you feel about it, but the paranormal and supernatural aspect of things have gone through the roof in the last 10 years. And it's getting progressively worse with time. So I don't know what you think about that, Eric, but you know, go ahead.
Well, there's a lot of stuff coming out on the paranormal, supernatural, and cryptid stuff. I mean, I have emailed the one guy that done he wrote an article at Harvard about cryptids and aliens. I've emailed him. I'm waiting to response. I want to try to get him on to talk to him. I want to do an interview with him on his research. But there is so much stuff coming out nowadays. It's not even funny. We've talked about this all the time. If you want to know the next big reveal that the government's going to do, watch Hollywood. And we're starting to see that now. I mean, and now the aliens out, UFOs are out. Now they're finally they're starting to slowly leak out cryptids. You know, so and with the supernatural thing, and 100%. I mean, look at the big W, the SW. I mean, they're supernatural entities. They're flesh and blood, and it's hard to kill them. You know, I mean, that's prime examples right there. You know, look how many encounters with Dogman and Bigfoot that's happened to. I mean, and there's flesh and blood, and they're not supernatural, but I mean, you got the same concept even on that side of it, that are just extremely hard, if not impossible, to bring down. And then when you come on your food thing, you know, I agree with you on the food, because they're even 3D printing food right now. And they've been, I can't remember who made that comment just a little bit ago. I think it was Kyle. Let me get up here and look again. Talking about
I've got it up on the screen. It's up on the screen.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Yeah. They've been doing that for a long time, Kyle. And there's a reason why other countries don't buy GMO foods. And I've told this on my show, and I think I've told it on this show before too. If you don't believe me about GMO foods, take a GMO ear of corn, stick it out on a tree, and then take a regular ear of corn and stick it out on a tree. See which one gets eaten and which one does not. If your squirrels and your wildlife ain't even going to eat GMO, why the hell are we putting that in our body? The big reason we have so much obesity in our country nowadays is all the process, the steroids, the hormones, and all this other crap they put in our food. That's why I'm trying to go back to self-sustaining, because it's not healthy, folks. I mean, it's aging us quicker. It's making us sluggish. It's causing mental problems and all this other stuff. We until we stand up, telling them enough is enough, we're going to deal with it. When you talked about the USDA, according to USDA, as long as you got 1% of pure beef in your product, it's considered 100% beef. So this crap they tell you on these fast food joints, oh, we sell you 100% beef, you're full of crap. There's plenty of studies showing you grind up humans in that meat, or also seaweed and some other crap. Take a McDonald's hamburger, leave it out for years. Some bitch is hard as a hockey puck and does not change color. Tell me that's natural. Whenever you get that red stuff you get out of your meat from the store, it's not blood. It's the pink dye they put in there to make it look pink. This is all this crap that's going into your bodies, and why I'm trying to get away from it. And this year kind of hurts. That's why I lean on hunting so much, because hunting is a big part of my diet, and I couldn't go this winter because of, one, the temperatures, and two, being sick and hurt. And that really hurts me, because now I've got to depend more on these freaking stores. And you used to be able to go to a butcher and you get some really good quality cut meats, grass-fed meats. They don't do that no more. They get it from the feedlot the same as the stores do and everybody else, and want to charge you a high-ass damn price for a freaking slab of meat. That's the exact same thing from a freaking feedlot that the stores and everybody gets it from. So, you got to think about this. Yes, pink slime, Judy, you're absolutely right. So this is kind of stuff you got to look at. You look at other countries and look at us and tell us the difference. You can tell, and if you actually study diabetes, cancer, obesity, and all this other stuff, it comes from the time they started pumping all these steroids and hormones into these animals. Now they're telling you, oh, we can't meet the demand. That's why we got to do it to fast growing. I mean, when you're eating a chicken, you're eating a 3-week-old chicken. They're pumping them so full of steroids and hormones, egg lays, that you can't even. You're eating a very young thing. No, the Great Farm Act that they freaking, oh my God, I still can't believe people voted for that stupid thing. Killed the beef, and killed the farmers. Unless you're a corporate farmer, that Farm Act killed the farmers. I should know. Where I live at used to be primarily beef and dairy cows. That's all you'd see around here. And now there's very few people actually doing it, because we can't afford it. Now they can come in and take your chicken, take your whole freaking herd, and say, oh, we're testing it for such and such, and you never get compensated for everything they took. Your chickens, any type of livestock you had, they can come in and take it, and you don't get confiscated for it, even if they don't find anything. So tell me how this stuff, this is bullcrap, and this is what they're doing. They've done all this to set up to where we are now. And and I've told people back, years ago, when they done this is what was going to happen, and everybody says it's full of crap, and it's for the farmers and blah blah blah. Look, the farmers are gone, and we're getting fatter. I mean, it's just common sense, folks.
Yeah. A lot of health problems too with eating the food here within our country. And ironically, if you buy the same product in the UK, it doesn't have anything but all natural ingredients in it. It doesn't have any of the chemical additives, the red dye number 40 and the yellow dye and the blue dye. It doesn't have any of these so-called dyes in them. It doesn't have preservatives put in it, to make them last, 5 years on a shelf, It's preservatives. I mean, when we went from eating fresh foods and vegetable and all that, and going to the actual butcher, which usually the butchers back in my day were right adjacent to the farms. You'd drive to the local cattle farm, and pick up your meats and stuff there, because you could hand pick them, how to cut it and all that. So, but anyways, I just think, with everything that's going on, and finding out that information is just really, really eye-opening. Getting back into the thick of things with the giants, I almost feel like, how do I want to say this without the? I almost feel like oh man, I don't even know how to put it into words. I almost feel like the Giants have never gone anywhere.
Yep.
The ones that were killed off, obviously, it's what we walk upon. We all saw the pictures and stuff from the Giant program that Eric's done and I've done. So I don't have a lot of them on the StreamYard right now, but I can pop a couple things up to prove what we're saying. But the fact of the matter is that there is an ancient evil that has been awakened, and I blame CERN for it, and I blame controlling population amount of the top 1%. I blame them, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Bilderberg Foundation, the Bohemian Grove white guys. I blame them. The military industrial complex. The only reason the so-called conflicts are going on currently in our world isn't because of anything territorial wise. It's because the military industrial complex wants to make money. Okay. They have been put under heavy fines and regulations for the last 25, 30 years. And it's been detrimental to the people that invest in it. And the people that invest in it, I'm talking the Rockefeller family, the Clintons, the Obamas, the Cheneys, the Bush family. They're all, and if anybody actually knows what goes on with all these presidents, including President Trump, they're all related. They're all related, whether it's fifth cousins, sixth cousin, ninth cousins. Ironically, most every president we have had has been blood related to others. Okay. And I don't know. I just, I think it's quite telling when you have that kind of a lineage of bloodline in control. It says something to basically they've got us trained to just roll over and take it, and I, for one, I'm done rolling over. I am. I'm just done. I really am. And I refuse to roll over. And if they want to cancel this channel on me on YouTube, that's up to them. I really don't give a damn. I'll go to Rumble and X. I'll go to Rumble and X, and that'll be my platform. I'm not even tolerating Facebook anymore because that's a bunch of bullshit anyways. They changed their rules midstream every chance they get just to mess with creators on Facebook. Now they passed something where if you're not a Facebook member for a year and you don't have 100 people following you or whatever, a couple hundred people following you, you can't stream on Facebook, which is total bullshit if you ask me. But I don't know. I'm just not too concerned about my voice being censored anymore because you know what? I'm here for a fight, and I know it's going to be a fight, plain and simple. So, but getting back to the Giants and the red-haired Giants and all that, we've made the connection to the royal bloodline. We've made the connection to a lot of the folklore with the red-haired Giants. And even traditional native folklore, like where fire came from, from the red-haired Giants. and we've connected it to, like I said, the royal family. We connected it to Lilith and the vampire cults, because everything is connected, literally. Okay, and the farther we delve into it and research it and investigate it on our own, we see more little points where we connect the dots to link it all together. Um, yeah, it's something. It really is something.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I want to bring up a picture you were showing a little bit ago, brother. People will tell you there was no way the earth ever could inhabit such giants called the cloud eaters. And I keep telling them, you got to realize our environment was a lot different back in them days before the flood. Very different before the flood. And proof
Yeah,
is
the
in this
oxygen
picture.
level was higher. Yeah.
This picture here proves that is a tree that was chopped down. We had trees that large back prior to the flood, which, yes, would allow for giants to what are called cloud eaters. The reason why the giants were destroyed in the flood by the gods is because they ate up all their food sources. They were wreaking havoc on the land, and they were starting to eat the humans' food sources. So the gods got mad and said, "We're done." And they caused a flood, which is what you hear the Great Flood throughout every civilization in history. They talk about a worldwide Great Flood that destroyed the giants. Every single ancient culture talks about it. And that's what people, I understand. We are so indoctrinated to believe that um, our ecosystem never could coexist with that. I mean, in my brother William made a perfect damn point just a few seconds ago. Our oxygen was so much purer back then. You didn't need to breathe near as much of it. You can have smaller nostrils and stuff like that and still get the intake. I mean, they got better intake than what we do right now. The oxygen was so pure, and you had plant life that was able, yes, to establish them. And you got photos, all different kinds of photos besides the one I just popped up on the screen there, that shows you what the plant life was back then. So yes, they very well could sustain creatures that were miles tall. I mean, there's reports throughout history of all cultures talking about the very same thing. So that's one thing you got to look at. We got to get away from mainstream science, away from mainstream historians, away from mainstream education, and do what my good brother says all the time: think outside the box. Learn your history, learn your true history, and things will click together. But as long as you're stuck on that mainstream, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, Ozzy.
And I mean, history has been dictated by the ones that are in control. History is always dictated by the ones that are in control or the victors. And, the ones that control the narrative are the ones that are in charge. And believe me, they are controlling the narrative. They have completely, almost literally, successfully wiped out any knowledge of our past that we have had. Now that leads me to my next question, and I was talking about this tonight too on the Red Rabbit Hole. Could that ancient evil have always been here and been running AI, artificial intelligence? Because we all know from what we've literally dug up from the past. They say if you want to learn your history, go beneath you, and archaeology and stuff is what it is. It's controlled by the narrative. Okay, so the ones that control the narrative control the archaeological discoveries. But also, bill collector. Hold on, I gotta hang up. Okay. Anyways, archaeology, the narrative is controlled by the 1%. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Clintons, the Obamas,
Schiff, Schumer, Pelosi.
Yeah, I mean, literally all of them can control it. So, control the narrative, they control our past. They've almost successfully wiped out our past, except when we come across things that we question. And this is why I say question everything. And I've said it 100 million times, question everything. But, if we see a rock jetting out that looks like this, what's the first thing that comes to mind? A giant snake. Okay, now how much oxygen would that snake need? Well, yeah, it would need probably about a level, not 19 to 21%, but it would need at least 30% to 35% oxygen for it to breathe, which would constitute giant trees. I mean, it makes sense. Okay, it makes complete sense. Okay.
You're absolutely right. Okay, Ozzy.
And there's another
picture.
I mean,
there's another
tree
prime
trunk.
example.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, ancient evil, yes, and that leads me to the conclusion too, though. In the Garden of Eden, the tree of life in the Garden of Eden that produced the fruit that Eve had taken part of and Adam took part of after being coerced by a lizard, okay, which has been connected to the red-haired giants and the royal family, okay, and that bloodline. Just was the tree of life in the Garden of Eden that bore the fruit of knowledge, was it a giant tree, or was it just a tiny tree like we have today? I think it was a giant tree. I think when all was said and done, I think that tree of life might have been hacked down or actually, just basically wiped out of existence. That's just my thought. I haven't really researched it, but when you see tree trunks that are a mile across practically, you have to wonder, was the tree of life in the Garden of Eden a gigantic tree? Well, did it reach from the ground to the heavens?
Think about this on your study, brother. True measurements came out, and I talked about it on one of my shows before when I was talking about, I can't remember if it was a giant one or Lilith one, but if you actually listen to the measurements of the height of Adam, he was 40 or 60 feet tall. So, I mean, he himself was a giant. So you got that. Now, most of your civilizations, ancient civilizations, talk about a great tree. For us Norse, it is the tree of life that connects the great Yggdrasil, that connects the 9 realms. All your ancient history, or all your ancient civilizations, talk about this one great tree. They all of them have it. I can't remember. One of them is like I believe it's an apple blossom tree type one for Japan, if I remember correctly. I have to go back and research all this stuff again. But you can go through here and read all this stuff, and you listen to their stuff, and it's very same to what we talk about now. So the great tree of life that you're talking about, I agree. I mean, it could have been a massive tree because, like I said, look at the height of Adam and Eve. They were 40 and 60 feet tall. So, I mean, what is it in cubits? I think it was 4 cubits high. 4 or 6 cubits high, something like that, which comes out to 40, 60 feet, something like that. I can't remember. I'll have to go back to my notes and look that up again. But I mean, you got to consider that all that in your mindset when you're doing this stuff. So if they are that tall, then the itty bitty little tree ain't going to do nothing for them. They're going to have a big tree. So, I mean, that's something to think about, bro. About the trees that are
exactly.
actually moving around.
Exactly.
Yep. I was reading comments here. To Ida's comment here, what do you think about the trees that are actually moving around? There's plenty of stories in ancient history of trees being able to move around. I mean, your tree imps was one example. They weren't an actual tree, but they looked like a tree. But I mean, that is the basis of Lord of the Rings when the Force moved to take out the orcs, was a prime example of something from ancient history that people talked about. There's reason why Native Americans and other cultures tell you trees are living, breathing, talking things. They are just as much alive as you and I. They have a spirit. They have a soul. They have a voice. They can feel. That's why whenever you cut one down, you always say a prayer and give thanks and plant tobacco. You respect it for sacrificing itself for your needs. Just like when you hunt, just like when you gather, just like when you do anything like that, you always show it respect because it is a living, breathing entity. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, that stuff is
Yeah,
not
Don's
uncommon.
got a good point here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Don's got a good point here too. In the movie Avatar.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all connected. Yep.
That's yeah, and you know, it's funny too because you know, the more we talk about this, the more we can make the connections to the giants because it would make sense that there would be trees that big in our world because they had to make enough oxygen for the giants. So, and I'm not just talking two-legged giants, I'm talking four-legged giants, winged giants, legless giants like giant snakes. They all needed a higher amount of oxygen, and that oxygen level was predicted at about 30 to 35%. Okay, which is a lot better than what we have now. And if anybody's ever been to California's redwood forest, those trees there aren't really nothing compared to the trees that existed back in ancient times.
Oh,
yeah. When you're talking, you know, when you're talking ancient trees, you're talking at least 4 or 5 miles high. Okay. So yeah, it would make sense that the giants, you know, the biggest giants recorded in the Bible were cloud eaters, you know. So
there you go. Ozzy Sue's got one for you. Yep. The Daintree Forest here in northern Queensland still have enormous amounts of large ferns and trees that dated back millions of years and nowhere else in the world. Yeah, there you go. There's a lot of that stuff that still remains. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's still a lot that remains out there, but they're going to lie to you and tell you something completely different about the true history of those plants, of those trees, of those people. You know, that tribe. They are a tribe. They are a people. They are a living thing. To me, one main thing that has broken down is the family. Yes, I agree, Roxanne. With that being gone, people will not stand a chance if we don't get back to family again. Absolutely. It is one of the strongest humans. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Roxanne. I really do. I'm very big on that. Very big on family. I'm being blessed right now by my brother.
Well,
I'm the oldest.
it's the most.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the thing about our past is that the strongest energy or the most powerful energy mankind can ever make is from our own heart and our own soul. That's what we call the aura that's around us. That's the energy field that's around us. And the only way to make that field expand and become stronger was written in some of the missing books of the Bible, and that is unconditional love. Okay, unconditional love is the main energy that makes us tick. Okay, so that being said, that's why the supernatural aspect of things currently acting up in our world is reacting so harshly to us because a lot of us have been woke up to the idea that there is this ancient evil that is around us that we don't see, you know, and that sometimes we can't hear, you know, that it's around us because they stay within that blinder spot of our vision, okay, because we're designed to be infallible. Okay, we are designed to be imperfect. Okay, is what I should say. But you know, the only perfect one is our Creator, plain and simple. That's the only perfect one in all the universes. Okay, is our Creator. So us being designed with these areas of our sight and areas of our hearing that we can't hear and can't see, that's normal because we weren't supposed to experience what we're experiencing now. Okay, we weren't opened up to that. Yeah. Here's another good point Don brings up. 300 years ago, the O2 levels were much higher. Yes, that's because of what do you breathe out every time you breathe in? O2. That's just the way it is. That's why they say when you hyperventilate and breathe into a bag, slow your breathing and breathe into a bag, because you need that O2 back in you apparently to stop you from hyperventilating. But yeah, there's so much creepy, weird stuff going on. It's amazing to me. It literally is. Um, if you think about it supernatural wise, okay, if a simple thing like a doll or a figurine or even a non-animate object like a mirror or a dresser or a hutch or something can have an entity attached to it, a malevolent energy attached to it, then it can attach to anything. And that's what's happening nowadays. That's why we have all this chaos in the world right now. It has literally been unleashed. And, I, for one, blame CERN. I blame CERN. I blame some of these big universities that have their science and technology departments researching crap like that. And who was the idiot that ever thought about opening a portal to hell was a good thing? I want to know who that idiot was. Okay. So, they are a complete imbecile wanting to do that. Okay. I, for one, last night, we as Native people, we dream walk. Okay. The ones that are gifted, that have that ability, that are our elders and our spiritual leaders. And I dream walked last night, and what I saw during my dream walk was kind of like that. There was the Marvel's character. No, it wasn't a Marvel's character. It was it was adjacent to the Batman series. It was the Green Hornet series. Well, there was a movie that was out about that, and it was the one guy that plays on the Marvel movies, as he plays oh my God, I can't remember his name now. But anyways, he plays in the movie, and the dark ancient evil that was in that movie was what I saw. It was a giant black mass that could make itself into anything. Okay. And that's the thing with supernatural powers. Yes, the Green Lantern. Thank you, Val. The ancient powers, is dark energy. Okay. What has CERN been trying to look up? Dark energy. Okay. What did CERN have in their Hadron Collider recently that everybody was told about?
Ghost in the machine.
They had a ghost in the machine. You're right. Let me see if I still have that clip on here. I don't believe I do, but let me see here. Yeah, I don't believe I do. I think I took it off of here. Oh, wait a minute. What's this? Let me see what this is. Yep, there it is. Yeah, and it's exactly that. They had a ghost in the machine. Okay, what they called it, actually, what CERN called it, was a demon. Demons are real. Demons are supernatural in nature. They are a product of the fallen, because of the way Lucifer turned his back on God, because he wanted to be God. And the only way he became a God was when Jesus told him, plain and simple, you're not only the prince of this world until I return, but you are the God of this world. Okay. So we need to remember what God we're praying to when we go to church, everybody. Are you praying to the Luciferian God, or are you praying to the Heavenly Father God? Okay.
Yahweh.
We need to discern that. We need to really emphasize on that, because that's why all this darkness and this evilness, supernatural, has the strength to do what it does. It has the strength to attach to things and to make things worse than what they are. Because the fallen ones, they're not our friends. They hate mankind. They were jealous of mankind.
Mm-hmm.
They rebelled. That's literally why they rebelled. So it is what it is in this world. But I, for one, am done rolling over to the ones that think they're in charge, because they're not in charge. Not just CERN, but there's these demonic entertainers. Yeah, and that's the other thing too I wanted to bring up, and I was going to talk about that tonight too. Boy, I got to figure out a whole new program for tonight.
Hey, we can continue on with it tonight, bro.
Yeah, that's true. We could. Here's something very simple for everybody. I'm playing with the cap to a bottle. Here's something very, very simple for everybody to take and consider. Okay. Consider this. Okay. When you sing "Happy Birthday," is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I know.
Okay. Does it mean you're celebrating somebody's birthday, or you're celebrating and promoting a curse? Okay, a curse that makes humanity realize how mortal they are. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's what that song is all about. So I won't be singing "Happy Birthday" to everyone. I'll say "Happy Birthday" to everybody, just to say it, but and to wish them a happy birthday. But on that premise, it's the same thing about April Fool's Day. Okay. April Fool's Day was devised by the dark powers that be. Did you actually realize that it was the day that Jesus was born, April 1st? And that's why the powers that control the narrative labeled it April Fool's Day, to mock Jesus and God. Okay. The Heavenly Father, not the God of this world. So yeah, there's so many things that the supernatural aspect of things cover, that it's amazing to me. It really, really is. So, and I can go on and on and on about things in history and things that with the Vatican. The Vatican's given permission basically for this ancient evil to take control. When have you ever seen the Pope kiss somebody's feet in public? Okay. Yeah. Now, the Pope does that because it's the utmost respect and admiration for the being of the feet that they're kissing. Because remember, Jesus washed everybody's feet, and he talked to them, and he told them, the narrative of the way things would be. And during the time of washing of the feet, it was the humblest thing to do, to take the simple thing, the lowest form of all life on the planet, which is water, and wash somebody's feet. Okay, was a humbling thing, but at the same time, it was an empowering thing. Okay, And what the Pope does now when he meets people that aren't Catholic, okay, or Christian, okay, more or less pagans, or the dark arts. Paganism is different from the dark arts, so let me clarify that. Okay, paganism is basically like a Wiccan thing where they celebrate the life of the earth and the seasons and all that, which is I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that's fine. If you want to celebrate that. Um, but when the Pope kneels down, as old as he is, and can't get back up, and he's kissing the feet of people that don't believe in Jesus and don't believe in God, who do you think that's empowering? Is that empowering the old man that we call the Pope, or is that empowering God, or is that empowering the God? It's empowering the God of this world, okay, not the Heavenly Father God, okay. So we have to keep that in mind whenever we see the Pope do that. That's part of a ceremony. That is a ritual, okay? And rituals have power, okay? Um, I don't know how much more plainer to make it. We have been deceived from beginning to end. We have been deceived, okay? And I'm not suicidal, okay? I realize every time I talk about it, I put a bullseye on me. I see that, um, but after what I've been through in this life, there is nothing that scares me. I just don't, I don't have that ability to be scared. Okay. Um, I just don't. Maybe the radiation treatments did that to me, you know, I don't know, but somehow or another I've changed in the last 5, 6 years. Okay. To where nothing affects me anymore. Nothing makes me afraid. Um, and I'm not bragging about it because that could be detrimental too to my health. Um, because mankind, we're in basically a wasteland. This is going to turn into our what do I want to say, our apocalyptic future. Okay. Um, and it's coming. It's actually coming. Okay. And when the beast makes itself known, it's going to get worse. Okay. Um, I don't know. I mean, do we continue doing what we do? I continue to do my ceremonies and pray every day, for the good of humanity, for the good of the world. Um, but I also keep my ears and my eyes open to everything that's going on around me so we don't get blindsided. And we will get blindsided eventually. Because CERN doesn't give a rat's ass about us. Our own government doesn't give a rat's ass about us. They want us to eat bugs. Eat bugs. Hey, Juno, eat bugs. Yeah. And Juno brought up that's a good point, Juno. Just that right there. The Pope is worshipped like a god. And what does it say in the Bible? Not to
Don't
worship
false
idols.
false idols.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. And when we listen to music, when you go to a concert, to a music concert, and they're throwing this symbol up at you, you know, and they're blinking the flashing lights and the lasers and all that, and you're almost hypnotized. Listen to the words of that music backwards. Just one time. Just one time is all it will take. Okay. And you will hear things like Satan is God, or hail Satan and all this other crap. Okay. And it is complete nonsense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how they control us. That's how you go to these concerts, or you go to a movie theater or a drive-in or whatever, even if they have drive-ins anymore. But if you go to those things and you're watching a premiere of a movie and all that about something, you're being indoctrinated. You're being led down, and I hate to say this, you're being led down the rabbit hole. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
To be lied to be deceived by everything malevolent and evil around you. And you can be the holiest of holies and still have to deal with the darkest of dark. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is, but it all comes down to choices, though, and just knowing your surroundings, I don't know how you feel about it, Eric, but when somebody says, "Oh, I got a ghost in my house," can you come, and cleanse the house? And I do that, I do that very, very often, and I don't ask anything in return for it. And I do protective ceremonies for people through the Native American ceremonies, for certain walkers, and certain ancient evils. But at the same time, I also believe that Yeshua is not going to forsake me, and leave me high and dry,
Mm-hmm.
to fight evil alone. So,
Yeah, I
let
mean,
me
I,
see.
I was carry on the conversation in chat here while you was talking, because trying to explain things, like a lot of people don't understand. The name Jesus is not his name. That was given to him by a white man. Jesus means Hell Zeus. So when you're
Hmm.
saying Jesus, you're saying Hell Zeus. Okay, his
Hmm.
true name is Yahweh, or Yeshua. Sorry, Yeshua. God's true name is not God, it's Yahweh. We need to get back into that mindset, because they've altered the Bible that we're actually praising the demon, the demon king, Lucifer, Satan, whatever it is you want to call him. Um,
Hmm.
that's how this is set up to do this way. And that's why I've always been against the Bible. And the more and more I learn, the more and more I realize how correct I have been through the years. That's why I don't study just King James. I study the Torah. I study a lot of other ancient stuff too, because it's all connected. And masses do not even know that. Yeah, well, that's the thing, Penny, and that's why we're trying to do stuff like this, is get this out to people to let them know. Look, what you're doing is you're doing things falsely. You need to do it the correct way. Like that day I got attacked, that Friday night I got attacked here. And once again, apologies, I didn't even think about shutting off my mic when I was evicting it. I said Yahweh. I didn't say God, in God's name. I said in Yahweh's name. We got to get back into that mindset of it's Yahweh, it's Yeshua. Um, we got to think about this stuff, and even Yeshua said, all things done by me is not by me, but through me by thy Father. He gave up his earthly powers when he became the last sacrifice on earth. So all the works that he did, all the miracles he performed, was by his Father Yahweh through him. And we forget about this kind of stuff. When we want to hold him up on a pedestal, and absolutely, yes, we want to hold him up on a pedestal, but we can't give credit to him on stuff he didn't do that was done by his Father. Now, when he went back to heaven, he gained his heavenly powers back, and he was able to do everything that he done. So we got to realize, we got to think about this stuff. And when we don't think about this and we get taught differently, I was reading a comment in there earlier. I think it was David who said it. We go to church to pray to Yahweh, but the preachers pray to bring in money. You're absolutely right, and that's one of the biggest problems I have about churches nowadays. Hey, Campbell, Dad. Um, so we got to think about this stuff. The Pope. Now, I
Hmm.
mean, granted, John the Baptist started Catholicism. I understand that. Yeah, absolutely. I will never dispute that. He started it. But like many other things, mankind gets involved on it and turns something good into something evil. And now the Catholic Church is an evil entity. The Catholic religion is an evil entity. So those of you that are Catholic, I'm not saying don't be Catholic. I'm saying learn the truth about things and worship the proper way. There's a demon king that is in charge of the Catholic Church of the Rome, the Vatican. There's a demon king that's in charge of it, and therefore you're getting all these popes that go against God. It says in the Bible, uh, it says in the Bible, it goes, "No man is greater than the other." So the Pope is not Yahweh's right hand man. The Pope is just a Pope. He's no more important than you and I. The preacher of a church is no more important than you or I. They don't sit above us.
But
they are there to instruct us.
But I sound like a tugboat. The Pope is like it was said in the chat. The people are praying to the Pope or praying, through the Pope,
Wrong.
making him a type of idol. And it says in the Bible not to do that. Yeah. Just as much as Bohemian Grove members pray to the owl, that's the big owl effigy, the 22-foot tall owl effigy that they have, they do mock sacrifices in front of, that's the same thing as idol worship. I imagine we could even take it so far as to saying if we wear a certain piece of clothing that has a picture of somebody famous on it, that might even be considered idol worshiping. Going to music and movies and stuff can be considered idol worshiping, because we take everything. I'm sorry, it's getting hard to breathe. We take everything for granted that it's acceptable. Everybody's doing it, so it's acceptable. But if it's not acceptable to the Creator, and the Creator says not to do it, why do we continue to do it? Because we are being led astray. Okay, we are being led to bring forth this ancient evil. Okay, to bring forth to bring the Nephilim back, to bring the fallen ones back out of their hidden places. And they are hidden. Okay. But at the same time, we got to figure too, though, you got all these black budget projects going on right now. And the most famous of them all is the Project Bluebeam. Okay, now it's been said that they're going to fake an alien invasion. Well, they've been doing that. They've been building up to that for the past 30, 40 years. Okay, so it's not a new concept. The newest concept is them taking the Revelations part of the Bible and making it come true. Okay. Now, am I saying that this is a fake end of the world type of a thing? No, I'm not saying unequivocally that this whole Jesus returning thing here in a short amount of time is put on by the military and the government. But I do believe that our government will persuade it, and all the other evil governments around the world and people in control will persuade it to go the way they want to. Okay. Not the way it's meant to go. Okay. So that I believe.
You also,
I don't know. It's just, yeah. Go ahead.
You also got to consider one other thing too, brother. The Catholic Church has you praying to Mother Mary. You're not supposed to do that. That goes against God itself too. You don't pray to Mother Mary. Is Mother Mary important? You're absolutely right. She's important, but you don't pray to her. And then they tell you the excuse, well, she's the one that gives our message to Yahweh. No, you don't do that. That's why you pray to Yeshua or to Yahweh. Yeshua will deliver the message. Mother Mary has nothing to do with any of that. And people forget that, and they want to go in and do that kind of stuff. I'm like, do you realize just how bad you're being led astray? You got to think about this.
I mean, look at it this way. look at it this way. When they took the name of God, the real God, the Heavenly Father, the creator of everything, Lucifer's God, okay, the one that Lucifer used to sing to, when they go to the text of the Bible, in every book in the Bible, the name of God was removed from the Bible over 6,000 times and replaced with the word Lord. Okay. 6,000 times it was removed. Okay. So it's like, it cost me $6. Bobby,
I'm wearing a shirt. Oh crap!
Bobby.
I'm reading Demos's comment here. Random thought. But do you think it could be possible that some of the stuff and prophesied in the Bible is God telling us to people now doing things via Project Bluebeam? Oh man, I don't really think it's that. I think it's mankind who wrote it in there, and now they're bringing it to light. There's a war going on behind the scenes that people don't know about, and the Black Cats are trying to win this war that they've already lost. So they're going to bring about the stuff that they put in there to show you, look, it was right, blah blah blah. Go back to this, No, yes, go to Yahweh. Yes, go to Yeshua, but do it the right way. Don't do it the way that the governments want you to. And to me, that's my thoughts, my opinion. That is what's happening. Is not so much God in the Bible doing it, it's mankind. I don't know what you think on that, bro.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, brother. Here's a question here too. ED Church teaches that she is supposed to help for mothers and go between to ask God for prayer. Yeah, that's not right. That goes against everything that Yahweh says. That's once again a false idol. Just like when the Catholic Church brings the remains of saints out, and you're supposed to praise the remains of saints. That's false idols. You're not supposed to praise anyone above Yahweh or Yeshua. And when you're doing that to Mother Mary, and you're doing it to the bone remains of the saints, you're looking at. I've done a story. I've done shows on this before, and it tells you right there. The Catholic Church took paganism, integrated it into their deal to bring more people into their following. A lot of these practices they're having you do, if you look at it, is linked to paganism. I hate that term, but that's what it's called. Paganism is a derogatory term. I 100% hate that freaking term. But this is what people associate it to. And the Catholic Church came up with that term, paganism. It's a derogatory term, basically talking down to people who didn't believe what they believed. But if you see these practices that they do, it's linked to that ancient ways. And that's how they did it to bring people in. So it's something you got to think about. What was your opinion on Demos's comment right there, bro?
Possible that some of the stuff I mean, prophecy from the Bible is kind of like it's basically a roadmap, and we all know that when it comes to roadmaps and guidelines, the ones in control can tweak it just a little bit to make it go to their narrative, and I think that's what's going on. I really do. When I was in the military, doing some of the stuff that I was supposed to do under orders, it was some of the stuff I questioned, a lot of the stuff I questioned, let's put it that way. But, to see what's going on today, it just literally blows my mind how much they are trying to control the narrative. Has anybody ever watched the hearing in the Capitol on the so-called physician that was in charge of the cough shot? Fauci. Sounds like a dang Italian dish or something. Anyways, he doesn't. You can tell he doesn't have one iota of guilt or anything for causing the deaths of millions of people worldwide. But yet he's not being prosecuted for those deaths. If it was anybody else, they would be prosecuted. Okay. And, that's just one aspect of what's going on. The powers that are in control want people like him in control because they're easy to manipulate. They're easy to control. And as long as we resist that control, we're going to be a target. Okay. And to me, yes, see, this is the Ida. This is the perfect example right here. All prayers go to God. Okay. But remember, you got to keep this in mind. You may be thinking of the God Almighty in heaven, but you're just using that single word God, which can be used to pray to Satan, because Jesus said in the Bible, okay, that you are not only the prince of this world, you are the God of this world. Okay. So you have to understand that when you pray, you need to pray to the name of God. Okay. Yeshua. Okay. Just like the shirt says, Yeshua. Okay. It's probably reversed on the camera, but anyways, this is a shirt that my wife got me for Father's Day. And, it's exactly, the Lion of Judah. Yeah, there's so much going on that they control the narrative, that they are trying to manipulate it. But yeah, Damos, Mars, we know what's going on, and as long as we know what's going on, we can continue the fight, and not be deceived by the utter BS that they're spoon feeding us since birth. And they've been spoon feeding us since we've been born, teaching us things that were false. Okay, completely false. That's why there's little like hidden images and information that somebody in Hollywood is doing. But when they put movies out, they're putting things in these movies, just like, like they're giving us hints to what's going to happen. And like take Independence Day. Now they're talking Project Bluebeam. Independence Day. What was that about? Alien invasion. Okay. How did they deal with the alien invasion? They used a virus to kill the alien invasion, which what did they use in 2020 to kill citizens of this world? Well, I'm talking globally. I'm not talking just in America. They killed millions, okay, of people, innocent people, okay, with a virus, okay. So you got to consider, even this, take the Simpsons program, that little evening cartoon that everybody gets so fun and happy about, when they do stupid stuff, and Homer goes, don't. The predictions are uncanny. Do you know the predictions that whoever writes the Simpsons TV show is 100% accurate? 100% accurate. That's like above Nostradamus stuff. Okay. So, somebody knows what's going on. Okay. And somebody's putting these little clues in. But at the same time, we're watching these programs on TV that could be considered idol worship. Think about it, So, I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's the whole thing is screwed up. It really is.
Man, I'm going to take down my merch line then, so we don't have no false idols, false worships. The Ginger Lives Matter's got to go. No, see, and it's the thing too. A lot of it stands on what you do with it. If you're worshiping it, that's when it becomes a problem. What is the one true sin that keeps you out of heaven? And people don't realize this. The one true sin that keeps you from heaven is turning your back on Yahweh and never asking back into your heart. That is the one true sin that'll keep you out of heaven. And we have things in here, like I've got different stuffs. I've got Jesus Payon's book. I've got stuff like this here. Am I worshiping it? No. Am I using it to help me go back to the old ways? Yes. If you have something, it's not so much that you're worshiping it. It's just, hey, you like it. We're meant to like things, but we're not meant to worshiping. So as long as you're not worshiping it, it's not a problem. I get people so upset with me being that way. I tell them that we will there will be a day you will do the same. Yeah. And a lot of people, yeah, Roxanne. I mean, a lot of people has done that. I mean, you're not the only one that's ever done that, but oh, yes, Roxanne. I've got to get my baby face fluffy stuff. Yes. I want a fluffy Eric statue. Yes, yeah, and I gotta get the baby face fluffy stuff going. I'm actually working on a new line. I've got 4 or 5 lines of merchandise out right now. I've got the Ginger Lives Matter line, which I'm getting ready to add to it. I've got the Ginger Giant artwork created. I ran it through William yesterday. I got the 2 good pictures picked out that we're going to use. And it's going to be under the Ginger Lives Matter line, but it's for the Ginger Giants. But I'm going to do some funny cryptid stuff as well. So I'm trying to come up with some funny terms like, I mean, I can upload a picture to show you what that line's going to look like. I've been working on some merch stuff for everybody, and trying to get some more stuff. I got my military line. Freedom is not free. I've got that line. I mean, I've got a ton of stuff out there for everybody. Oops, wrong one. So I've been working on it, but this is stuff. It's not this. Prime example. We're not worshiping this stuff. It's fun stuff that we like. But if you get to the point where you are worshiping it, then that is when it becomes a problem, and that goes against Yahweh and Yeshua. And I'm trying to find that picture now for my funny line. Where did it go? I may have to do it at a different time. I'm not seeing it in here. It's supposed to be in here. Huh. And that's one of the key things you got to do. I mean, I'm going to have different kinds of stuff for everybody out there, but I mean, it is what it is. I can't find it now, so I have to do it another time. But it's fun stuff to do. I have to wait a second week next month to get my ginger script. That's fine. And right now, I do have a promotional code going on for anybody who wants to buy my merch. It's 10% off until the 31st of July. So that actually works out in your favor, Roxanne.
Hey, War Criminal.
Yeah, but hey, War Criminal, how's it going, buddy? So I mean, this is kind of stuff we got to think about. It teaches you in the Bible, don't dress to offend thy brother or thy sister. But the problem is no matter how you dress, no matter how you act, and no matter how you do, you're always going to offend somebody, especially this day and age. Hey, Woo. This day and age, man, people are too I'm trying to think of a polite way of putting this, because I don't need my Marine Corps grunt NCO attitude coming out on this. They're too free with their feelings, I guess you can say. You know, we forgot the old saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. It has become the social norm because it is indoctrinated into our head by social media, by news media, by um, mainstream education, that, oh, you know, her words can hurt people. No, words can't hurt you unless you choose for them to hurt you. And when you choose to let them hurt you, it's not on the person who said it. It's on you. You chose for it to
Have a
hurt
good
you.
day, Juno.
Hey, Juno, you have a good one, bro. Juno got me hooked on a new band that I'm just absolutely loving called Clutch. Oh man, I've been downloading their stuff. I'm liking that Clutch.
Oh, you're worshiping an idol.
Yeah, I know, man. There we go. But you know, it's the thing that we got to think about is we need to. Feelings are important. Don't get me wrong, but if feelings dictate things, that's when feelings become wrong. You know, feelings cannot dictate science. Feelings cannot dictate facts. Feelings cannot dictate history, and feelings cannot dictate you unless you let them. So we got to think about that. We need to get back in that mindset. You know, get back in that old saying: "Sticks and stones might break my bones, but words will never hurt me." There's a reason why that was created. So, I mean, that's my soapbox on that. Too hot to be outside. Yeah, it's hot here too. Woo. I spent the first 58 years of my life living how others wanted me to. What time I have left is mine and my creators, and I don't give a rat's real anatomy. Yeah. Exactly? You know, I live by a very simple phrase. Some of you guys may know this, some of you guys may not. Who in here knows the term dilly gaff and what it means? I'm hanging in the LBL this week. Oh, you lucky dog. You lucky dog, war criminal. I've got to make my way up to LBL. For those you don't know, the term dilly gaff means, do I look like I give a F? I don't know if I can say the thing on YouTube or not. Do I look like I give it an F? And that's really a concept we all should be living by. You know, oh, you're doing this, dilly gaff. Or you made me feel this way, dilly gaff. Or, oh, you said this about me, dilly gaff. Who gives a crap what somebody says? The only time it comes true is if you make it true. And you're the only one that can make it true. So remember that.
Yep, exactly.
But no, this is I don't know. That's my soapbox, man. Dilly gaff. But I mean, this is the stuff we gotta do, you know. So we're gonna have fun. We're gonna make this fun. You know, that's what I love about you guys. That's what I love being on with William. That's what I love about my show, and everybody comes watches my show. Man, we great group of people. You know, and that's another thing we was talking about earlier about family connections. Family doesn't have to be blood, y'all. People forget about that concept. Family does not have to be blood. I've got family that's not blood. I mean, William, he's a brother to me. We're not blood, but he's a brother to me. You know, he's family. You guys, you're family. I mean, I love the hell out of all you guys. I'm trying to get caught up on comments here.
Yeah, I know. So am I. I'm so far behind.
I do.
Good night, Sue.
Good night, Sue.
Good night, Aussie Sue. Yeah, there's just so much that that we are trying to interpret and comprehend that's going on today. I mean, even the simplest thing of spirit activity, you know, moving things in a house or a building or whatnot, or even outside, you know, hearing the loud booms and what sounds to be like a metal chair or desk being slid across the concrete floor. You know, these loud sounds going on, which I attribute to the weather manipulation that's going on nowadays. When have you ever seen the flooding as bad as it's been in Texas and Florida recently? My heart goes out to everybody in Texas and Florida. And all the twisters, they're talking that this year alone, the season of the hurricanes, we're going to see a Category 6 hurricane. I didn't even realize they had a Category 6. But
that's not a common one.
Yeah, these are all things that we're being told is going to happen by the people that are supposed to be the experts. And I think it all is done through weaponizing the weather. I think, we're the ones causing earthquakes in distant places, and Beauvais Island and other things. Earthquakes in Turkey, just all kinds of weird stuff. Volcanoes erupting. I really do believe that we are fighting a war against each other with weather. The flooding in China, the earthquakes in China, the sinkholes in China. The same thing is happening in the U.S., and these two countries are going at each other. They can call it what they want. Today's warfare has definitely changed since I've been in, because it was more of a man-on-man type of a fight than anything. But nowadays it seems like it's just getting progressively technology, and that leads me back to my final thought. Okay, my final thought on the whole thing that's going on right now. Okay, what if, and I put this question out to everybody in the chat, I want to see your opinion. Okay, everybody that's in the chat, so please, if you can, listen and answer this. What if that ancient evil that has been unleashed the entire time that we have existed, over top of other civilizations, more advanced civilizations? What if that advanced civilization in the past already created AI, artificial intelligence? And what if that AI has been running the world ever since the collapse of that so-called more technologically advanced race and civilization of the past created it? What if AI is the whole problem? What if everything we're seeing is manipulated by AI? Okay. What if everything we're hearing is manipulated by AI?
Yeah, I mean, look at. There's plenty of stuff, like you said, throughout history that suggests AI has been around for a very long time, a very, very long time. I'm replying to Penny. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out, and Billy Carson brings a lot of that up, and I'm really liking Billy Carson. I've been listening to him quite a bit here lately. If you push the button, start doesn't work, and your brake pedal goes stiff, and gear shifter sticks in park at the same time, it's the brake pedal relay switch. Just letting people, yeah. There's, and that's a problem. Like, I was sitting there talking to a brother of mine. I ride with a group, and I was sitting there and sharing a beer with a brother of mine. We were talking. I was like, man, like, I've got a Dodge Avenger out here that I need to get the PCM pulled out and have it rebuilt because I kind of miss driving it. And plus, I've got a daughter getting ready to get her driver's license. But I wish I could pull all that electronic crap out of vehicles, go back old school where it's just the engine in the vehicle. With all this technology they got, and stuff that's supposed to be better, supposed to be a green thing, supposed to help the environment. Quit listening to the paid scientists and listen to the real scientists, and they'll tell you that the human carbon footprint on global warming is 0.02%. The Earth naturally changes its environment. we're at almost at a reset point where it's going to plop back up on the axis, which throws everything off. You don't believe me? They didn't have vehicles and stuff like that, or cars that emit the crap that we have back in the days of ancient Egypt and stuff like that. Back when it was a lush environment, it was green, fertile. It's the natural thing the earth does. It always tilts over so far and bam, resets itself, which causes something to happen, i.e., two of the ice ages was set back because of the reset of the axis of the earth. That stuff happens. It's a natural thing. Hey, Katie.
Good to see you, Katie.
Yeah. So that's kind of stuff I talk about. And, it's just, I don't know, man. It's aggravating. I've got a truck I just spent $8 to $9 grand putting an engine and 2 cats in. I've got a car that's down that needs a PCM, and now my bike needs a battery, and I can't even ride my bike because I've spent so much money on this stuff. And they do this to you. I was looking up okay, the right side cat on my truck, according to O'Reilly's, is $700 some odd. The actual price from the manufacturer is $212. So the more we start buying from these people, which in a situation like I was yesterday, I had no choice because I didn't have time to wait. We're enabling this stuff to happen. So that's why I tell people all the time, we the people have the power, and we people need to take the power back.
Yeah,
thank you, Roxanne.
Yeah, the global reset is definitely taking its toll on a certain class of citizens
that want extra money.
They're trying their damnedest to save the dollar, but I don't foresee it being saved. I see us going back to a gold standard type of a dollar.
Yes.
But it is what it is. I mean, it's they didn't, they used gold and silver back in the days of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
That was the currency. So, I'm not holding a lot of faith in what any government does, to tell you the truth. And I'm talking any government across the whole world. Because you have greedy people. And when you have greedy people involved that want the fame, the immortalizing, the masses to worship them, the religions to acknowledge them, then you're dealing with pure evil. And there's no accounting for sensibility or responsibility when you're dealing with somebody that's pure evil. And that's what we have going on in the world today. So,
well, this is a subject that we can't really talk a whole lot on YouTube because it will be a subject that will probably get us kicked off. That's why I do subjects when I talk about. That's why when I talk about subjects like this, I talk about it on my Rumble. Is because I can speak more freely on there. But there's a lot going behind, and I trust me, a lot of stuff you're saying is very correct. I am a very, very, very big BRICS supporter because BRICS is going back to asset back the way we're supposed to be and getting rid of this Babylonian fiat system that we're on now. So that's why I kind of talk about that a little bit on the current events with the bizarre and unknown, which I am setting up, trying to get things gathered up for a new show. And I'm probably going to have a kick-ass interview for everybody coming up next month because I need to bring some things back to light of what the government does when they really want something. And I've talked to William on Messenger about this. This stuff I want to bring it back up that has been forgotten for quite a few years now, going on 10 years, that we really need to realize what the hell government does. So that'll be all on my Rumble. If I get lucky and I get this interview done, which will have to be recorded, most likely she won't come on live with me. This will be recorded. It's stuff that we need to remember, and that'll be on my Rumble. But man, we really need to wake up. Now we need to wake up, folks. We really, really need to wake up. And that's why I love, excuse me, sorry. That's why I love doing this show with you, William, because, we get the information out there to help people to wake up. We're not going to wake you up. You have to wake yourself up. All we can do is give you information about anything. And it's up to you to take that information.
I'm going to reply to David's message here about Louisiana. I think that's a good thing, because those are the only laws that count. The only laws that count in this life are those laws. Okay, not the laws of man. Okay, because remember, we're not fighting flesh and bone. We're fighting principalities. So that's what it be. But you also have to look at, David, what they're doing to Texas and Louisiana right now with all the heavy storms, the tornadoes, the flooding, they're making these states that are part of our union, they're laying them to waste with the weather manipulation. And that's why I brought that weather manipulation earlier, because our own so-called government is doing that to their own people. Okay. And every time they fire HARP facility up in Alaska and all the other 22 places around the world that they have it, and they do have it 22 places around the world, if not more, they're manipulating the weather to affect the states of the American Union here, that are rebellious against what's going on currently. Okay. Anybody can see it. It doesn't, you don't have to be, a rocket science to figure that out. That they are using this to beat down specific states that are basically standing up for their rights and for their people's rights. Okay. They're wiping them out because, at last count, there have been several million people that have not had the money, due to the way things are going, to have homeowners insurance. And those, I'd be willing to bet that in those states that are being flooded out and hit with tornadoes and hurricanes and all that, and just foul weather all around that's destroying people's homes and property, I'd be willing that those states are the ones that don't have the homeowners insurance. So those people that are in poverty-stricken areas that don't have homeowners insurance can't rebuild their lives. Okay. And I truly believe that's what they want. The powers that are in control right now want that to happen. They want you to be their slave, and that's it. You're no better than the ant that's on the ground that they step on. Okay. And I hate to say it that way, but that's the truth. Okay.
Yep. I mean, it is. All things are coming to light. We're seeing it now.
Yep.
And more is going to slowly get leaked out to wake people up.
Exactly.
Every day we're seeing more and more. The drip is continually drip, and we're starting to see more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, another thing you got going on in Texas, Don, is the dog men that's hopping the borders. Been an increase in dog men hopping the borders down there in Texas too. Got a lot of weird stuff going on in Texas right now. Well, I mean, Texas is one of 36 states that's talking about seceding from the federal government.
Yeah.
The business, the corporation, the United States corporation, not the Republic of the United States. Y'all forget, we are not a freaking democracy. We are a freaking republic. So the true government is the Republic of the United States of America, not what we see, which is the corporation of the United States of America that your good old JB's in charge of.
He's not my JB.
Yeah. He's part of the corporation. He's not part of the republic. And we need to get back to this concept. We need to get back to the concept that we are a republic. We are not a democracy. We are a freaking republic. And we, the people, hold the power, not those jackheads up there on the hill. We need to wake up.
Penny, you're killing me. Oh man. It's getting harder to breathe now.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, I've been watching weird weather here in northeast Arkansas. It's not right. We've been and we've been having it here too, Judy. I've been so damn busy at work. I'm still not caught up at work with these last round of storms that came through. We have had so much high winds, so many tornadoes, so many floodings. I'm still trying to get caught up. I really am. I'm not counting the people who take stuff down just because they're idiots. But I mean, just from weather alone at my job, I'm still trying to catch up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. It really is. We have a current government, and this has been going on for the last several years, except for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Out of that whole last 4 presidents we've had. But the last 4 presidents we've had have been nothing but overbearing, pompous, incompetent assholes. I'm going to say it like it is. Okay. Who have been continually trying to take away things from the people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing that everybody forgets too when it comes to the Constitution. And our constitutional rights. Our rights are to be governed by the state, not by the federal government, by each individual state. That's why when we elect our governors, we have to make sure we elect the right ones that have the interest and the best for the people at heart. Okay. And the federal government has been given way too much control over each individual state. I mean, I remember back in the days when I was a kid that, you hardly ever heard anything from the federal government unless they were investigating a certain state, or doing a certain investigation on a certain person, or a certain group of individuals like the Teamsters and stuff like that. It's nowadays they have their nose in everything. They have their nose in education. They removed prayer from schools. They removed the Pledge of Allegiance from schools. What's next? They going to make all the kiddies wear uniforms like the Nazis did? What's next?
Yeah.
I'm just putting that out there, everybody. I don't mean to offend anybody, but I'm just putting that out there, that it's ridiculous, We need to have good men and women in positions in the state government system that have the best interest of the people at heart. Okay, all the people, not just a certain percentage of people, but all the people. Okay, and you have damn, bridge trolls out there like Pelosi and Schumer and the rest of them, and that are just, first off, if they had respect for you and I, they wouldn't be worrying about lining their pockets with the millions and millions of dollars they get from using insider trading secrets for the stock market, like Nancy Pelosi did, like Chuck Schumer did, like George W. Bush did. Okay. I'm sorry, but they do. Mm-hmm. They use it to their advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we have to depend on our state governments.
a couple things. For one, good morning, Christine. Number two, to answer your question, yes, they all took the oath, but they're oath breakers. So they're going to roam hell as a nithing to be food for Needhog because they're oath breakers. You know, yes, they all took the oath, but that doesn't mean they're living by it. I'm very big. If you give an oath, you keep it. I mean, yes, that goes back to my family tradition. You know, my people's tradition. If you break an oath, then you become a wraith, a nithing, and you're doomed to wander hell as a wraith, as food for the Needhog. So that's my outlook. What's your opinion? She asked. I had it up there on the screen. She asked if they take oaths. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, they all take oaths. They all take oaths, but you know, it all comes down to whether they are a legitimate, honorable, responsible, professional individual that clearly thinks for the people and does things for the people. Um, you know, and has the good intentions towards the people that elected them. Okay. Um, you know, the whole system is rigged anyways, from birth to death. It's rigged. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by rigged is it's, you know, why is there only three types of voting preferences that were allowed? You know, why do we have to claim either being Republican or either being Democrat or either being independent? You know, it makes no sense to me. Those things were meant to divide humanity, okay, and divide people of this country, just as much as religion was made to divide the masses, okay? Baptist, Methodist, Christian, born again, Pentecostal, Catholic, Buddhist, you know, Hinduism, you know, I mean, you know, Muslim, you know, everything is designed to separate us. Okay. Even our blood, think about that. Even our blood is designed to separate us. A positive, A negative, B positive, B negative, O positive, O negative. Okay. Even our blood is meant to separate us. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people commenting in here. You used to be your word and your handshake was bond. Now I'm still that way, and I try to teach my kids all the times. Like, look, a man and a woman is only as good as their word. If your word ain't crap, then nobody is going to believe you, and nobody's going to feel sorry for you or be there for you because your word is crap. I'm still very big that way. Your word is your bond, and a handshake is an agreement.
Exactly.
But we need to get back to that. Michigan passed a law last week that people who are over watching the count cannot do anything about to say or stop if election is corrupt. What? Michigan passed a law last week that the people who are over watching the count cannot do anything about to. Oh, no kidding, Roxanne. Oh my God. There you go. Corruption right there.
Yep, at its finest.
No, Glade, you're not the only one left, but you're multi posting things. So I don't know something's going on with your computer, bud.
Yeah, you definitely got multiple postings.
Yeah, that's true, David. They do. But no, you're not the only one in here, bud. To throw out the window when the removal. Yeah, I mean you're right, Glades. So
well,
yeah, you're right.
We're over the hour mark, guys. If you can, please like and share this out. I know we got off subject and we got more of the what's going on today, traditionally wise. But we did talk about giants. We did talk about the supernatural. And you know, tonight we're going to delve further into the supernatural aspect of things. We're going to question everything tonight. You know, it's a screwed up world that we live in. And yeah, there's some theories out there that make us sound like we have volunteered to go through this, which may be true, you know, from whatever place we came from. But it is definitely not a fair game growing up in this world, because the powers that be control every aspect of your personal life, your education, everything. Okay. And it's getting worse. Okay. So now with the Neuralink and all this other BS that's going on, they want us see the brain's the most complicated computer in the history. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And long after we're dead, our brain is still functioning. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now they want to put a chip in your brain so they can have remote access to what's going on inside your computer, your head. Okay. You know, it's ridiculous. The world that we were born into in this world is not designed to benefit us. And it's about time we take that control back.
Mm-hmm.
Simple. So, everybody, like I said, if you can please like, heart, and share this out. Visit my brother Eric on his channel. Subscribe to his channel, The Bizarre and the Unknown, and The Bizarre and Unknown on Rumble. I got a funny feeling that after this message we talked about today, I might only be doing Rumble and X, and that's it. So please go to on Rumble, go to Nighthawk's High Strangeness channel and subscribe to the Rumble account. I've got a couple short videos up there now, actually about a dozen of them, but I'll be doing more with that apparently. If you can support the channel through super stickers and super chats and all that, that would be great. That pays for cameras and stuff that we need to pull this off. Oh yeah, and Eric's gonna promote my t-shirts.
Hell yeah.
But at the same time, let's not forget, you know, that oh, you're more than welcome, Kyle. At the same time, let's not forget that Eric has a store too. So Bizarre and Unknown. But you know, it is the world that we live in is not designed to our benefit, and we need to make it that way. So the sooner we get this information out to everybody, the better it's going to be. Okay, all my brothers and sisters in the chat, we love you very much. We appreciate everything you say in the chat. So don't think that just because your comment wasn't posted, it wasn't read. As you can tell, Eric and I were trying to keep up with the comments and reading everyone. So, you know, we pray you all have a blessed day, and let's just stay together and stay strong and stay faithful, and let's persevere through this BS in this life. Okay. I'm going to be coming on 11 o'clock tonight on Into the Red Rabbit Hole. Clearly I'm going to have to, you know, go over some of this stuff then too, but more the AI aspect of it, the ancient AI. I want to talk about, you know, the civilizations prior to us being technologically advanced, and whether we think that their AI that they developed has been in control of our world since day one, which kind of makes sense, you know. But you know, and then tomorrow morning again at 11 a.m. Eastern time, Sunday morning Paranormal Weekend Morning Brew. Man, I got to shorten that up. That's a long title. And then don't forget Eric's programs. Okay, Eric, you want to go ahead and explain how to get your books and your shows?
Yep. So, my YouTube channel is a Bizarre and the Unknown. Saturday, I do campfire chats with Eric and guests. That was created by you, the people. This is a safe place for you to come and talk about your encounters. I'll bring you on live if you want to come on live, or we just talk about it in chat. That's tonight at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. Sundays, I have the regular formal, the Bizarre and the Unknown, which I'm going to be doing. Episode 27 is going to be called The Werebeast, where we're going to be talking about werebeast and how they are created and where they're found. That's on Sundays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm not don't weekly do a current events on Rumble. I have a show on Rumble called Current Events with the Bizarre and the Unknown. I am getting ready to do one. I'm building things up. One of them that I was wanting to do this weekend is probably going to get pushed off to next month, depending on this interview. Eric, could you one day do one on the Malta Giants? Let me write that down so I don't forget. But yeah, I can do one. I've done 3 or 4 shows. Well, I say write that down. My pen's missing. Text that to me. Message me, Roxanne, on that so I don't forget. I don't know what happened to my pen. So I do stuff like that. And you can find my books on Amazon. If you type in my name, it's on the screen, e.d.testerman on Amazon. It'll bring you to my author's Facebook page or my author's fan page on Amazon. You click that, you follow me. Anytime I release something new, it'll come out and let you know. Some of my books are also on audio. I just got back into production. I just got Saga Grimson Book 2 Black Death for audio. So I've got the guy. We made a deal. He's working on it. So soon, Saga Grimson Black Death will be out on audio as well. I've not heard contact for the guy on the Vergian Guard Book 1 House of Battle. He's got 8 chapters done. I've not heard from him. So unfortunately, I'm getting to a point I'm going to have to do something I don't want to do because I need to get it out there. So, but there's places you can go to find my stuff. So, and I've changed merchandise stores. I'm not on Bonfire no more. I'm on Teespring, which I have. If you go to thebizarreandtheunknown.com, I bought a domain. I have many different kinds of merchandise on there from many different lines. And until July 31st, you get a 10% discount. So I'm constantly creating new merchandise for everybody, what everybody wants. I'm working on stuff and getting things out there that people want. So that's just what I got going on.
Sounds good. All right, everybody, have a great day, and we will see you tonight at 11 p.m. and tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Okay, until then, question everything.
Peace, love, and blessing.